Hey, how's it going, everybody? Look, it's not dark. It's 5:05 in the PM here. We got February the 5th, 2026, and it's not dark when I come outside after I get off of work. So hey, the days are slowly getting a little longer. And we got about almost to 30 degrees. We'll say 29. I'm not going to say 30, but we're just below freezing. And here we'll head across Water Street. And that heads to Wacker Drive. This is Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. And Krista, how you doing there? You're the first. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, what I'm thinking of, so at lunchtime, we did get to the DeSable Harbor and cross the river and saw that the ice in the river, the lake looked like it was frozen. I went behind Lake Point Tower and we zoomed up towards the playpen in off of Streeterville there north of Ohio Street Beach, and it looked like there was ice all the way up to beyond North Avenue Beach. And I saw Alexander, Chicago was streaming up by Montrose, the ice, and Jody GTV was up in Uptown. I'm glad for them streaming there, but so I'm thinking we'll just head up Michigan Avenue. It'll get dark enough, we'll see some of the lights, and then we'll go to Oak Street Beach. This is on my way home. It's on my way home from work. I know people are tired of seeing same stuff, but I'm glad we got so many other Chicago live streamers streaming all over. Hey, Al Capone, welcome to Chicago. There's the Wrigley Building. Hey, DCG, how you doing there? Hello, Prince. Yeah, heading home. Yeah, Sue B, GMJ Map, MNAP, Mim. Good evening, Denise. Grandma's Corner, thanks for being on. Appreciate it. Yeah, look at that. There's the Wrigley Building. Here's the Blackhawks sweaters, jerseys. Yeah, people getting their crumble cookies. I saw some people eating crumble cookies crossing the river there. Here's, hey, the Jolly Trolley. We got on the Jolly Trolley. It's the Fannie Mae Chicago Premium Chocolatier since 1920. Fannie Mae. Yeah, there's Wacker Drive. Yeah, we went by that 400 Lakeshore. It's really taking shape. So here's Wacker Drive. Second tallest building in Chicago, the Trump Tower. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to make the person get out of the way there. I got to be careful streaming when I'm crossing the street here into oncoming pedestrian traffic. But hey, we'll cross the Chicago River. Here's the St. Regis. Here's the Bridge House. We'll head up Michigan Avenue as we usually do. Yesterday we went further west. We went over towards LaSalle and Wells and that stuff. There's the frozen Chicago River. We got February the 5th, 2026. There's the St. Regis. We're all stopping to take pictures here. This is the frozen Chicago River. So the river often freezes over. You see how the tugboat icebreaker cuts a channel there. The fireboat goes through there. We haven't seen many other boats. I haven't seen the hot tub boat out there. There's the Apple Store in Chicago. Oop. Yeah. Let's see what else is going on here. Denise. Yeah. Sabrina Suburban Garden. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in here. So hey, let's head up. So I'll go straight up Michigan Avenue past the water tower, and then we'll go to Oak Street Beach and see if what the ice looks like on the lake. Frozen lake. And it's funny, it's like warmer today. We might get some snow overnight. It might be snowing. And I think I'm going to head to the office tomorrow because I like a challenge. And hey, Jean-Baptiste Point DeSable, I posted that rerun. Talked about him and his wife there. We talk about him all the time, not just because it's Black History Month, but I got the rerun from last year in February and said, hey, let's run with it. And check it out there. That's on TikTok. I'll transfer it over to YouTube. I need to put that on YouTube. That's a Jean-Baptiste Point DeSable deserves to be on YouTube. There, Chicago Tribune, Pioneer Plaza, this roundabout in front of the Wrigley Building, the Trump Tower behind it. There's the view back to the Loop Skyline. So hey, let's head up Michigan Avenue. Appreciate people have been sending me all kinds of good videos all day. A lot of good content coming out recently. Hey, there's hey, did anybody see? So Bitcoin dropped over 13% during the day. It's probably down 12%. It recovered a little bit of its losses, but yeah, the number that got to me was, I don't know if this was CNBC or Financial Times or the Wall Street Journal. They said over 160,000 Bitcoin wallets. That's, you know how if you got Bitcoin, you got a Bitcoin wallet, and it keeps all your blockchain, crypto, whatever there. I don't have it, but over 100. I don't know what, I don't know if it's the last month or the last week, but recently they said roughly 160,000 Bitcoin wallets were totally liquidated, whereas people that own Bitcoin over the last several years completely sold all their Bitcoin. So right now the market's being flooded with Bitcoin and not enough people buying it. There's a company called MicroStrategy, now it's just called Strategy, where after the pandemic, they used to sell software. They went all in on Bitcoin. They own 3% of all Bitcoin that was ever produced, and their stock is tanking like crazy. It might put pressure on the broader market. I know some other people, you got crypto as part of a diversified portfolio, so you can sell your crypto and buy something else, and we'll see if that's what happens. But also, Google reported their earnings, and more importantly, Amazon reported their earnings, and they got a bunch of capital expenditures after hours. Now, it might recover some of this already. The initial shock, it dropped 10%. That's Amazon stock. This is billions of dollars of market capitalization wiped off the market. And Scott Bessent was on the hot seat today in front of the Congressional Review financial thing, and I think it wasn't just Elizabeth Warren, but people were asking him questions about the new nominee for the Fed chief, Warsh. It's not Walsh, it's Warsh. And they specifically asked Bessent, they said, if Warsh, if he's confirmed by the Congress and the Senate, if he's confirmed to replace Jerome Powell as the head of the Fed chief, they said, well, the president threatened to indict him on a charge like Trump indicted Jerome Powell over the excessive spending on the Federal Reserve expansion, construction, or renovations. And Bessent said Trump reserves the right to indict his own Fed nominee if he doesn't do what he wants. And so the markets, it's going to be interesting how the market digests this too, because it means we have a politicized Federal Reserve, which we knew this was always a possibility, and now we'll see how the market takes it. So and even though the current administration attempted to do a crypto strategic reserve, it didn't support Bitcoin, and it's going to affect the broader market, because when there's that many liquidations, and it depends on what happens to MicroStrategy. And so we'll find out. We'll see if Bitcoin continues to drop or if it recovers. It's gone through these drawdowns before and went higher every time eventually, but it took years for it to come back each time. First time it spiked was in 2017, and then it spiked in 2021 after the pandemic, and then it spiked again on the news of the Trump second term, because in the first term Trump was not he was kind of against crypto, and now he's all in. Just kind of like his flip-flop on TikTok as well. Isn't that interesting? But hey, thanks for tuning in. We're in Chicago, the Chicago, Illinois, United States America Planet Earth. We're getting to the Christmas lights here. We still got Christmas lights on February the 5th, 2026. Look at that. How you doing? So, yeah, we'll just doodle up Michigan Avenue. Thanks for listening to that spiel. And, yeah, let's go over here. Hey, that's a nice stroller. You get the stroller, you protect the kid's got a windshield. Hey, we're crossing. There's the Burberry. There's the RIU Hotel. We got 5:15 in the PM, about 29 degrees, we'll say. Not too bad. I'm going to head up to the lake. Eventually we'll get to the lake. That's the plan. I want to see if there's ice at Oak Street Beach, because earlier this week we went there and it was still open water. Today it looks like there's some ice that blew in there and rammed into the shore. Yeah, we'll just we'll leave them up for next Christmas. That's a good idea, Jean Valentine. Yeah, I wonder if that's going to happen there, S. Rose. I know. We don't even know. See, we haven't even gotten to the recession yet. We're still, you know, I think the jobs numbers look kind of, there's like layoffs because it's who announced, oh, Washington Post. The Washington Post announced 300 layoffs. That wasn't just that, but there was like 100,000 layoffs in January. Here, let's cross the street. Here, we're at, this is Erie Street, Michigan Avenue. You can see the giant Starbucks there. Yeah, let's cross the street here. We'll go over to see the Harry Potter store. So here, Michigan Avenue, we still got the Christmas lights here. February the 5th, 2026. There's the water tower. Get across here. Yeah, we missed the bus. Yeah. Oh, giant Starbucks, nice dog there. Here, we'll go around and check out the lights. Mango, this new store, Mango on Michigan Avenue. Mongo, however you say it. Mongo. Hey, Alvin, thanks for coming back there. Thanks for the gift earlier. Lord Demetrius. Yeah, I wish the current president would have stayed a real estate developer and not become a politician. But he is a politician. You know why? He lies a lot. He's pretty good at it too. People like the lies he tells. Hey, they're fixing the window displays. Here's Harry Potter Chicago, right on Michigan Avenue. Here's the Patronus stag, and that owl's falling out of the tree. The owls are. You go get your butterbeer. Harry Potter here on Michigan Avenue at Huron Street, Chicago, Illinois. United States of America, planet Earth here. Yeah. There's the Tip Top Tap, the Allerton Hotel. Zara. Yeah, let's head up and see if that lake's frozen. Now he's got an ego. He's got an insatiable, he's a narcissist. He's, if you're a king, it's good to be a narcissist. If you're a servant of the people, it becomes harder. Servant of the people. And he's enriching himself. Do you see what? Okay, so there's some Saudi prince or the spy, the spy sheik or whatever they call him. I know that's a weird term, but he invested like a lot in Trump crypto, and so they're looking into that too. Very severe violations of the Emoluments Clause. He's personally enriching himself off the office, and other people have done stuff like this, and like Blagojevich. Here's hey, look at that. Here's yeah, we'll head back across here. Oh, good. We'll head across Michigan Avenue here. I'm crossing back and forth. I don't know which side of the street I want to be on. Maybe I spit on the screen here and see if I can clear it off. So, it's Sugar ALO. We're at Superior. See, there's the one Chicago Tower, Superior. There's that abandoned mall here in Chicago. Wait for the left turns. Yeah, very lucky guy. I'm glad. Thanks for tuning in. That's why I started talking about this morning. I've already started the countdown to the 2026 midterm elections in November. We got 9 months, and I'm going to be on this all summer, starting the countdown. And then at least the committees will change. There'll be some oversight, and there'll be some harder questioning of what's going on in the administration. They're getting away with, the Republican-led House and Senate is letting Trump proverbially get away with murder, or I'm talking hypocritically. Is that the right word? Facetiously, like an exaggeration. But it's Michigan Avenue. There's the water tower. There's the Park Hyatt behind the water tower. Nomi restaurant. Say hello to George Lucas. But hey, Walgreens, Michigan Avenue, Chicago Avenue. Yeah, well, he can threaten all he wants. We're going to have an election. You know why? Because we're Americans, and Americans will not stand for not having an election. We had an election in 1864 during the Civil War. We had an election in 1860 where Abraham Lincoln wasn't on half the state's ballots, and he still won. And if he really does try to unconstitutionally federalize the elections and or tamper with them, we will hold him accountable, and he won't get away with it the second time. And I know, you know, if Biden got away with it the first time, well, he's president now, so America has existed long before Trump, and America will exist long after Trump. Just imagine how much damage he's going to do, just like, you know, how much damage Biden did. You know, people that didn't like Biden. We survived Biden, we'll survive Trump. I'm not going to give him that much power over our country. We will manifest it. Here, I want to stay on this side of the street. I don't want to cross. I just wanted to film the water tower. There's the water tower, Chicago. Hey, we're seeing it from a different perspective at night here. Here's the magic hour. Park Hyatt here, the Loyola. This is Pearson. Let's see if we can cross the street. Here's the pump house. We checked it out yesterday. Here, we'll cross the street. Yeah, we can go now. So hey, this is starting to look, so they still got the architectural thing. At least they added those lights. They're gonna make this like a financial bank VIP lounge or something. Hey, they got the window displays. This is for Water Tower Place, the Chicago Sports Museum. On the 7th floor, it's a Harry Carey's. That looks nice. I like the green. Oh, look how it changed color. Went from green to red. I like that. Glasgow, Scotland. Hey, thanks for tuning in there, George. Yeah, thanks. So if you want to see Millennium Park, please watch there's a full hour-long rerun from lunchtime today, noon to 1. It was filmed at lunchtime, on my lunch break. We walked through Millennium Park. We went to the Bean. You can watch the whole rerun, see the comments. People that, you know, you might have to watch some commercials, but that's what happens when you miss it live. But if you don't want to do that, wait till tomorrow. If we get a bunch of snow at lunchtime, I'll probably go to the Bean and film the Bean in the snow. And here we should go. So here's the John Hancock 100-story tall, 875 North Michigan. We got the Cheesecake Factory, 360 Chicago, Starbucks, Jamba Juice, Benihana. There's the Fourth Presbyterian Church. I like the colors in the window there. I think they did a good job. But now the Best Buy's gone, and now the North Face is gone. The North Face moved further south on Michigan Avenue. It took over where Colores Mexicanos used to be, in front of the La Catrina. There's and La Catrina's gone. There's 900 North Michigan. There's the Benihana. Go get your hibachi grill. And do you know that Steve Aoki, the DJ, his dad's Benihana? So Steve Aoki's the son of Benihana. Isn't that amazing? Hey, he's the DJ that throws the cakes on everybody. He brings, like, you know, you go to like Mariano's and they got the big cake pan there with like the happy birthday or something. He brings that to his DJ sets and he throws it on the crowd, and people beg to be hit with cake, and then you have to get it out of your hair, all the blue icing and stuff, smear it all over everybody. You're all sweaty with cake icing all over your face. It's a weird, but it's great. People love it. It's like Gallagher with the Sledge-O-Matic watermelon. Hey, live in concert, Raiders of the Lost Ark at the Chicago Philharmonic. The Chicago Philharmonic's going to play the Indiana Jones at the Auditorium Theater. Has anybody seen that? That'd be interesting. Yeah, it sounds like fun. Yeah. So, thanks, Shauna. Thanks for sending all that good content today. I reposted some of it. I saw the high school students marching outside the high school, too. That was good. Here's the Drake Hotel So I'm gonna head to Oak Street Beach quickly and see if the lake's frozen there. It's just the ice looked like it blew in and it's all packed against the shore. At least that's what it looked like at lunchtime. Here, we'll cross the street here. This is Walton Street, Drake Hotel, Rego, or Millennium Knickerbocker is over that way. And Hawk's here. Hey, Hawk. Fern, F-E-R-N-E, Marie. Yeah, thanks for the nice message there, SNMX. Sandra. Yeah, thanks for sharing there. Happy birthday. Who's got the birthdays? Thanks, happy birthday. Happy birthday, everybody having birthdays there. No, I don't miss grass because I live next to Lincoln Park, and Lincoln Park has a bunch of grass. It's just it's winter time, and maybe you're so privileged that you live in a place where you never experience winter, so good for you. Not all of us have that luxury. So we got the snow. We're going to head over and check out the ice. And do you miss not asking me about, do I miss grass every day? They must be a bot. Every single day I get the same question. Do I miss grass? I'm on YouTube, so I could say cannabis. I miss cannabis, even though it's legal in Illinois. Here's, hey, look at that. There's the Drake Hotel. There's the John Hancock Palm Olive Playboy building. There's this gazebo. There, let's head out to the Oak Street Beach. Looks like Saba Lakeshore Drive's a parking lot southbound. Backed up. No, it's moving slowly. It's just it's curb. It's bunching up. This happens. It's probably the Chicago Avenue light. In the evenings, they let people out of Chicago Avenue directly onto Lakeshore Drive. There's a signal there, just like the ones you got to go through in Grant Park. So the trail must be open here. Trail closed. I'm trying to. The keys in my pocket are digging into my thigh here. I gotta change it. There we go. So hey, this is where you get the underpass that gets you northbound on Saba Lakeshore Drive. Traffic's moving slow, but it's moving going south. Here we are in Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. There's the John Hancock, Michigan Avenue. We're heading up to Oak Street Beach. We got about 29 degrees, that's what I'm gonna say. -1 Celsius. We got 5:28 in the PM here, Central Time Zone. You go see Lake Michigan. Purple grass, there you go. Get to maybe it's Labrador. Here's make a difference, support the parks. Hey, there's some. So here's the face murals on the pedestrian ramp up to Oak Street Beach. Let's see what we see here. Hey, she's running. Hey, I guess the Olympics are going to start pretty soon, right? Are the Olympics starting this weekend? Okay, so the Super Bowl is Sunday. And I did get a ticket to the Chicago Auto Show, but I could go any day. And I might go on Tuesday. I'm trying to coordinate with somebody that they're having, they want to promote some Valentine's Day stuff on the South Loop. So, you know, it gives me a reason, you know, that I could double going to the, I might take the afternoon off of work on Tuesday and go to the auto show piece. It won't be as crowded on a Tuesday. It's more crowded on the weekends, the McCormick Place Auto Show. So the ice moved away. The ice off the shore. So that's, now I understand why Alexander Chicago was at Montrose, because you got to go way out to the hooks. We might have to go out to the hook on North Avenue Beach to see the ice. And you know, we saw it. See, it's all inside the Monroe Harbor there, but there was some ice, and see how it broke off, and it's back away from the shore. So there is some frozen part of Lake Michigan with some snow on it, but it's away from the shore. It's about a mile out. And here we're at Oak Street Beach here, Chicago, Illinois, February 5th, 2026. 29 degrees Fahrenheit. Hey, look at the white sandy beaches of Chicago. It's like we're in Pensacola, Florida. Look at this. Yeah, the Lake Michigan. Hey, Scott, how you doing there? Ramos Corner, West. Yeah, Starving Did. Joel Rubrick. Joel. Oh, I gotta see, move. Joel Len Rubik. Okay. Very nice. So here, let's head over. There's Navy Pier. I don't want to freak these people out. I want to film the skyline here, and we'll head up and see if we can get to North Avenue Beach and film that ice. Here, let's. I wanted to walk to the shore. I was unconsciously walking straight towards them. I want to go across this jagged. This is interesting. Look at this stuff. It's like a honeycomb of. I'm breaking through the ice. It's like a little honeycomb of weird divots. Oh, I keep breaking through the ice. It's too heavy. But here's what I want to film here. Here's the icy shore of Oak Street Beach. So this is what it looks like on February the 5th, 2026, wintertime in Chicago. Oak Street Beach. See, there's Navy Pier. There's the John Hancock, Michigan Avenue, 900 Michigan building, the Playboy Palmolive building there. And here's the Gold Coast housing. Hey, very crunchy, yeah. No, I won't be careful. I'll be careless and fancy free. So I don't think there's water underneath here. Yeah, I might get a wet foot. Here's the happy medium. So now I'm not breaking through the ice. There's actually sand underneath here. Hey, Oak Street Beach, Lake Michigan, Chicago, Illinois. We got about 29 degrees Fahrenheit, -1 Celsius. So let's head back to the path here and get off of this undulating, hard to walk on, icy snow. No, the reason I didn't realize it. So I was gonna give those people a safe distance, but as I approached the lake, I didn't realize that they were smoking. There was a very aromatic smell, and then I'm walking up with the camera. And if I was doing that, I would freak me out if somebody would walk right at me with a camera if I was trying to recreate there by the lake. And so I had to change my direction. I'm very sensitive, as most live streamers are in the age of immigration and custom enforcement. People see a camera, they think we're like spying for the government or something. And the government can tune into my channel. Foreign governments can tune in. Like Peter Thiel's watching right now. Hello, Peter Thiel. How you doing? Nice to see you in the Epstein files there, Peter Thiel. Thanks for tuning in here. Welcome to Chicago, United States of America, planet Earth. There's the John Hancock, Michigan Avenue. There's Navy Pier. There's the Ferris wheel. Yeah. Yeah. Crash Society. We're heading for a crash. Hudson River. Really? Save on tolls. They're crossing across the ice. Yeah, ciao. How you doing there? So hey, thanks for tuning in from Italy, or being Italian. We're in Chicago. This is Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. And we're near Lake Michigan. This is called Oak Street Beach. This is the lakefront running path. And we'll head up to, oops, trying to get up here. We'll head up to North Avenue Beach. We're heading northwards. I'm heading home from work. See Division Street. You go underneath. Actually, you know what? Let's go up Astor Street. Let's go up, since I'm here. There is, well, now I'm torn. No, I want to see this ice. So I want to see if we could see the ice from North Avenue Beach. So we will stay along the lake. We'll head straight up to North Avenue Beach with the Gold Coast residential towers there behind us up Lakeshore Drive. See, we're north of the John Hancock, and we're just at Oak Street Beach. And, yeah, right next to the beach. Yeah, summertime. Yeah, I don't know if you were watching my channel in the summertime, the last 3 summers when I get off of work. Sometimes I would change into shorts and flip-flops and we would just walk along the beach. I put my feet in the water. I hope I didn't mean to creep anybody out. They're like, why are you filming all these people in beachwear? I'm like, it's a public beach, you know. Maybe I need to strip down like to a Speedo myself and film myself. There's no one wants to see that. There's I can't get any viewers on my channel. Here's John Hancock. Yeah, Drake Hotel. There's, see, there is ice. It's way out there off the Lake Michigan. Germany, how you doing there? Domo 4, how you doing there? Sebastian. Yeah. Mr. Javanat. Yeah, thanks, Grandma's Quarter. Subi. Ontario, Canada, that's good. Yeah, no Speedo allowed. There was a band in Chicago, they were called Caviar. Who remembers Caviar? It was a band from Chicago. They had a song, it was called Tangerine Speedo. It was about a man wearing a tangerine Speedo. That was a good song. I like that album, Caviar. It came out about 2000, 2001, 1999, somewhere around there. Who remembers there was another Chicago band called the Cupcakes? Who remembers the Cupcakes? They had some nice songs, early 2000s. One time I saw them at the Double Door. It was like 2003. And they were wearing Teletubbies. And they had to be so hot. They had these huge, life-size Teletubby outfits. And they played their whole set in the at the end, they had to take their the top head mask parts off because they were sweating so much. But it was great. And I was so drunk, and I barely remember it, but it was great. So I was at the Double. Who remembers the Double Door there in Wicker Park? And a strange twist of irony, the Yeti store that replaced it is now out of business. So the landlord that raised the rent and kicked out the Double Door now can't get anybody to lease it out. So maybe that's karma. Yeah, Fade the Black. Illinois, how you doing there, John? Yeah, small towns, that's good. Houston, how you doing there? Men. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up there. Listen to Grandma's Corner. They're double tap the screen if you like this. Thanks for tuning in. Let's more people find it. All I'm doing is I want to see if we can see this ice from that hook. But that hook is it would be hard to walk on because it's very icy and slick. So this might be a big waste of time. I think the closer I get to it, it's not as crushed in there as I thought it was. It may have been earlier. It's funny how the ice shifts around. Yeah, if you can't remember, it was a good time. It's like people that went to Woodstock. They said if you were there, if you could remember it, if you could remember it, you weren't there. Yeah. Yeah, Rammstein, Du Hast. That's still one of the most powerful metal songs ever. And that gluttural German tongue. Have you listened to Rammstein's America song? We're all living in America. They did that during the Bush administration. It was Europe protesting, you know, America's involvement in Iraq and weapons of mass deception and all that stuff. You know, they had Colin Powell lie to the UN. You know, all this gaslighting. So it shows this gaslighting's been going on for a long time. You know, wag the dog, starting wars, season the oil, whatever. But we're all living in America. And it says, I don't speak my mother's tongue, which he as a German, like the Scorpions. Who remembers the band, the Scorpions? You know, they all the, you know, amazing hits they had in the 80s, they sung in English, but they were a German band that they sung in English. you know, for commercial reasons. They sold more albums that way because people in England and Australia bought their albums too, and people in Germany bought them too, you know. It was funny. Yeah, the Scorpions, When to Change. I love that song. I used that song on one of my music montages there, yeah. That song came out after the fall of the Berlin Wall, which, you know, that's why they wrote that song, because they lived through all that, you know. That's amazing. Who remembers when Pink Floyd did the Wall concert at the Wall, and then they toppled the wall at the end. They built this big giant wall at the Berlin Wall. That was a very memorable concert. I wonder if we got a whole generation that doesn't even remember the Berlin Wall. It happened, but, you know, at least I was alive when it came down. 1989, I think, was when it came down, the Berlin Wall. What it was, okay, it took me years to understand it, because, you know, I was a kid. I would always see this wall, and I would imagine this wall like the Great Wall of China going across Germany. No, that's not what it was. Berlin was surrounded by East Germany, at least the portion still occupied by the victorious Allied France, Britain, and the United States, and Russia. Russia kept East Germany, but there were 4 quarters within Berlin. They divided it, and so 3 quarters went to the Western Allies, and the rest went to Russia. So the Berlin Wall was just in the city of Berlin, and it divided the free part of Berlin, the western part, from the Soviet Iron Curtain part of Berlin. But it got so bad that, was it Khrushchev or one of the, after Stalin, they did a blockade, and they were worried the people in Berlin were going to starve, and so the United States had to fly planes, because it was like an island, you know, of land surrounded by East Germany, like you know, Monaco or something, you know. Well, that's a bad example. Like Lesotho, surrounded by South Africa. They had to fly supplies in on planes, and it was called the Berlin Airlift. And then they ended the blockade. But all those dramatic images of people trying to get across the barbed wire, and somebody flew a balloon across it. All kinds of weird things happened. Yeah, that song's great. Hey, Grimmy, how you doing there? Yeah, communism was bad. Yeah, socialism, because it was at the point of a gun. It was the state use of force. You didn't have a choice, and you can see how what's going on now, the policies being forced on America, whether we like it or not. Even though there's mass public resistance to it, and there is harm being done to American citizens, they're still persisting, because it's like there's no way to, there's no off ramp. It's a true clash of ideals in the way people want to view how America treats undocumented migrants, because even the other side, they call them illegal immigrants, and then the other side calls them undocumented migrants. It's even the language is incompatible, how we think about it in our minds. Yeah, 99 left-tongue balloons, nuclear war. I remember in 1984, they thought Ronald Reagan was going to nuclear war between Russia. It almost happened in the Cuban Missile Crisis. We came really close. There was actually a Russian submarine commander that had a nuclear sub that was commanded to launch nuclear attack against the United States, and he refused to follow orders. That's why when I watched the Past the Glory movie, Stanley Kubrick, where they executed 3 French soldiers for cowardice, even though they asked them to go across no man's land, you know. So it was just like the Russians, they would shoot their own troops in the back if they didn't advance, or if they retreated. You know, you were in like a fish in a barrel. People were shooting at you from all sides. Yeah, send me a message there, ABT. You know, You know, I'll check. If you got any content, let me send me a message either on YouTube or TikTok and say, hey, if you got some content, let me know what your page is, and then I can check out your page, see your content, and see if something works. But you know, I'm so disappointed sometimes. I'll go, I'm sure you got some great content. You know, some people will be like, they want this or that, and I'll go to their page, there's nothing on it. And I'm like, this isn't fair. You know, my whole life's exposed here. You know, here's my own fault. I shared too much. Here's the chess pavilion. But hey, there's the ice. I want to walk over there and see if we can see it where the jetty is. So we maybe we'll be able to see the Sears Tower if we go way out by that tree. The Sears Tower is behind these buildings, and it's so far away. It's about 3 miles away from us here that you have to get. But it's tall enough that if you go over there, you can see it behind the other buildings. It starts to pop out. And we're too close to the Gold Coast. So this is North Avenue Beach. This is the Chess Pavilion, Chicago, Illinois, United States of America, planet Earth. We got 5:47 the p.m. 29 degrees Fahrenheit, -1 Celsius. Hit the thumbs up, please, if you like that information. Thanks for tuning in. If I missed your question, I'm heading home from work. I'm turning into a zombie. It's Thursday. Week's flying by here. But here, we'll get you this nice skyline view. Here, I'll walk through the crunchy snow here. There's the, get you this beautiful view from North Avenue Beach, Chicago, Illinois, over Lake Michigan, the Chicago skyline. There's John Hancock, Michigan Avenue, Streeterville, Navy Pier. You see the Ferris wheel there. We saw somebody ice fishing at USABO Harbor. Lunch. North Avenue Beach. Kansas City, 55. Hey, send that weather this way. You're stalling out. That's good. Yeah, Alvin said in Saskatchewan it was above freezing. So yeah, head this way. We need some relief. Well, let's see if we get some snow. We're supposed to get some snow overnight. I'm hoping for a snowy walk into work tomorrow. That should be fun. We'll give it a try. So here's the ice floating out on Lake Michigan. I want to see if we can get closer to it. 78 North Texas. Wow, see that it's starting to get a break in the weather. I'll look at that. I got that weather app. You can look at the color-coded temperature map of the United States there, or the whole world actually. There, look at that. Chicago, Illinois, Lake Michigan, North Avenue Beach. Hey, we made it to a cleared sky upside west. So there's the Castaways beach house there. Boston. Hey, Boston baked beans. Yeah, no, Chicago. There's the Navy Pier, Ferris wheel. Oh, their bike got plowed in. So here's some ice on Lake Michigan. I want to see if we can get a little closer to it. Maybe it looks like there's some people out there. I don't know how icy that is. I don't want to slip in the lake here. This railing helps out. Traffic's moving fine on Lakeshore Drive. Ah, nice view. It is peaceful. Yeah, Norm. That was George Wendt. George Wendt. They got his picture on the Second City. You go to the Old Town Ale House. Go to the Old Town Ale House, and they got the painting of George Wendt. Hey, look at that. So here, let's see. Let's make this do a judgment call. Okay, it looks like there's people there, so we'll gingerly walk towards them. I'll stay away from the edge here. And there, look at that. Lake Michigan, Chicago, Skyline. Here comes a jogger. Oh man, we gotta share the road here. Yeah, George Wendt passed away last year. Yeah, it was sad. We talked about it. Yeah, Norm from Cheers. He grew up in Beverly. He grew up on the south side. Oh, we got all that stuff. We got all the bad vice. We're the big bad city. We got all the good crime. We got the crazy crime history too. So here I'm gonna sit on this wall. Well, let's see which way these people go. Let's sit on this wall and let them pass. So they're gonna go right there. Okay, so I'll go over here. Here I'll show the skyline as we head past here. I want to show this ice. I don't want to slip in here. Okay, good. There we go. Okay, good. So yeah, I guess all good. So there is a beach on this side. There's not water. I'll stay near the beach. I want to try to film this ice. So this is an ice sheet in Lake Michigan. We got February the 5th, 2026. There's the Chicago Skyline. We're at North Avenue Beach. And see, you want to stay on the snow. You don't want to get on the ice. There's this, and I'll go to about there. I'll go until we can see the Sears Tower. If you walk far enough out here, you can see the Sears Tower. This is the jetty at North Avenue Beach, Chicago, Illinois. We got 29 degrees. So I gotta go further. I'm trying to walk, check out the ice sheet here. How far do I have to walk out to see the Sears Tower? I know you could see it. I didn't realize it was this far out. Is it blocked by the one Chicago Tower? Hold on a second here. There's a method to my madness. Yeah, there it is. So I really don't want to walk much further. It's really hard to walk on this snow. Here, let's go to just right here. Yeah, let's get out in that little divot right here. So hold on a second, and then we'll film the ice on Lake Michigan, and we'll see if we can see the Sears Tower. Yeah, there you can barely see it right there. So let me get out just a little further. So hey, Chicago, Illinois. This is North Avenue Beach. See, there's the light at the end of the thing. Here's the ice. So we'll get some really good views of the ice here. This will be worth it. So we'll document this for the time capsule. So there, this is good enough. This is as far as we're going to go. So, welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Lake Michigan. Let me start it here. So, hey, welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Lake Michigan. We got February the 5th, 2026. Look at the beautiful Chicago skyline behind Lake Michigan here. And since it's 29 degrees and it's been cold for about 2 weeks, the lake's been trying to freeze over. So you see this, we're out on this jetty at North Avenue Beach. Like at lunchtime it was blowed into the shore, and now it's probably, we're supposed to get snow overnight. And so here, see, there's the beach, and I'll just show you the skyline. We'll start heading back, and I got to concentrate on where I'm walking here, so I'm missing all the comments. Here, let me stop and look at the comments there. Yeah, it's lonely. You could be urban alienation. You're experiencing it. You could be in a city of 10 million people or 9.5 million people and feel like you're the only soul on earth. Everybody just walks past you. You know, I know it's what probably people panhandle on the street. They feel overlooked too. There are people ignoring them, stepping over them. You know, and I'm just as bad too. You know, you don't stop. You don't want to get involved. It's always some hidden hook scam. Or, you know, getting caught in someone else's drama. It's hard. But here, look how icy it is here. I really didn't want to walk out that far, but I just wanted to see the Sears Tower, you know, and you have to walk past the one Chicago Tower, or the Trump Tower, actually. Was that the Trump Tower? No, that's the one Chicago Tower. You can see all those. So look at this, where we're at. So here's Chicago, Illinois, United States, America, planet Earth. You can see the John Hancock, the Trump Tower, the 900 North Michigan. There's the one Chicago Tower. You can't see the Sears Tower. You can see the Aon building. You can see the St. Regis. And there's the new building. That's the new one, 400 North, the lit one. Here we're at North Avenue Beach, Chicago, Illinois. Here by Lincoln Park. Hear that wind? Welcome to the windy city. Look at where I'm at. Hey, thanks for tuning in, checking out the Skyline. This might look neat and sped up, I don't know. Try to put it to some crazy music. Okay, we're back to solid land here, so we made it. Thanks for running the gauntlet there with me, that was fun. I want to see that ice up close, that's as close as we can get to it. So we'll head over to the bridge, we'll head through the park. Yeah, how you doing there, 3Punk? I'm gonna call you 3Punk. I know who you are. Let's see. Renee, Kevo, yeah, Alvin, yeah, Grim Evil, Joe, Scotland, Bonnie Scotland, yeah. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I've seen people live stream from Edinburgh. I've seen people, the castles. Yeah, there's so much history in the UK, Scotland, Ireland, all these places, Europe in general, Africa. Go to Casablanca, go to Egypt, go to Ethiopia. There's a great video, and it's true. There was some religious seminary, and fact check me on this. Maybe this is wrong. I don't know. I'll just tell you what I saw. There was a student there from Ethiopia, and he was telling the class, he goes, Christianity was in Africa before it was in Europe, because it was in Ethiopia before it was spread throughout Europe, because it was illegal because of the Roman Empire until Constantine changed the law. And that was like 300 or 200, 300 AD. Before that, there were Christians in Ethiopia long before that, like go back to the time of, just after the time of Christ. And just like there were Christians in Asia Minor, but they weren't, they were a minority. And the class was just dumbfounded. They're like, and so it makes white Christian nationalism sound funny. It sounds stupid, right? Because there were black African Christians before there were white European Christians. And it's just all the paintings of Jesus. We look at the European paintings. In the Art Institute of Chicago, they have a nice selection on collection of African art, and they have an Ethiopian section where they have the Christian Bibles, and it's just as beautiful calligraphy, or if not better calligraphy than the European monks. Gold paint, the lettering, and they have black Jesus in the Ethiopian Bible from like the 5th century, like from way back. And it shows you whatever culture imagined their deity to look like them, and it makes perfect sense. Even though he was neither, he was probably, Jesus probably looked more like a Palestinian. It's amazing, and so you got the white Jesus, black Jesus, white Santa, black Santa. God's a female. Here's North Avenue Beach, Chicago, Illinois. Yeah. Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant, Ethiopia. That'd be a nice movie to make out of that. Natalie, thanks for the good information. Yeah, the like the Raiders of the Lost Ark, the Lost Ark of Israel. Or even the Lion of Judah in Rastafarianism. Some of their teachers came out of Ethiopia too, for Jamaica. The Lion of Judah. And Rastafarianism. Am I wrong about that? Is any Rastas in the house here? Here's look at these little. Here we're in Chicago, United States of America, planet Earth. Here's the sauna experience, Fire and Ice. You can rent these things. So I guess they got a sauna. They got the geodesic dome. You can rent these. Yeah, it's cold. There's nobody out here. I'm the only person out here. Actually, this is the warmest day we've had all week. This is, excuse me, 29 degrees. It's a little wind by the lake. It makes it feel a little cooler. But hey, we got the whole beach to ourselves. There's one person jogging. Yeah, Jesus was a Jew, I know. He was from the tribe of Benjamin, right? Yeah. Or was that David? I'm not. It's been a long time since I've been to Sunday school, so my Sunday schools were on Saturday. It doesn't make any sense, I know. This makes no sense. You mean my hand's made out of molecules? That makes no sense. Judah. Good. Thank you. So Jesus was from Judah. Good. Tribe of Judah. That was tribe of Judah. Very nice. See you, Galilee. But my only point is, Jesus was not black and he was not white. He was Jewish. And he probably looked more Middle Eastern than Ashkenazi. Here's North Avenue Beach, Chicago, Illinois. He looked more Sephardic. That's what I meant. Here's it's only one race, the human race. Thanks for tuning in here, Chicago, Illinois. We got 29 degrees. We'll cross North Avenue Beach, or the bridge to North Avenue Beach over Lakeshore Drive. We got 6:03 in the PM. Wolverine. Yeah. Yeah, isn't it funny that they moved Jesus' birthday? It was probably in this. Yeah, it wasn't in the winter. But they moved it to coincide with the Roman Saturnalia and the German, this winter solstice. There was always holidays around the winter solstice, so they moved it back there. So they were very good at co-opting local pagan traditions into Christianity. That's how we get Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico. It's the Virgin Mary, but it's also goes back to the Aztecs. It's Mother Earth. It's just Easter. It was like Ishtar. There was a Babylonian or Assyrian holiday that was similar. Everything gets merged over time. Both Christianity and Islam come out of Judaism. The first 5 books of the Christian Bible are the same as the first 5 books of the Quran, as the first 5 books of the Jesus, or the Jewish Talmud, I guess, or not the Talmud, the Old Testament. Here's this is South Lakeshore Drive, Chicago, Illinois. Look at that nice view you get of the sky. Now we can see the Sears Tower. There's the Sears Tower. Got the looks like the Temple of Doom there. Very foreboding red skyline. Yeah. So this is called this is DuSable Lakeshore Drive in Chicago, Illinois. That's south, downtown Chicago, Sears Tower. This is north. It goes up to, man, that truck's got some loud tires. It goes up towards Loyola. This is Lincoln Park. Look at left North Avenue Beach. That's what this bridge connects. That's the South Street exit. Man, it's chilly. The wind, you hear the wind? Chilly willy. Actually, it's all relative. My fellow Chicago live streamers can relate. We've been walking in like single digits, so when it's 29 degrees, it doesn't feel bad at all. You know, we're used to it by now. You see true Chicagoans jogging in shorts. Here, we'll take the shortcut. Hey, traffic's moving fine now. Hey, thanks for liking and subscribing there. Thanks, Wayne. Hey, you'll join a good community of people here. The Lunch Bunch. Brian, really Chicagoans. Here's the soccer field. Is the Olympics starting? I guess, I know the Super Bowl's coming up. Maybe, is it the opening ceremonies tonight? No, it's tomorrow night. It'll be Friday. I'll look into that. No, we really haven't. You know, even the snow we got earlier, the biggest snow we got was the first one we got in November. And then after that, that melted really quick. And then, I mean, different areas of the city got more snow. Right here where I'm at, we only got a few inches. Yeah, the East Coast got much more. Cincinnati got much more. Indianapolis got more snow than we have. I don't know how Wisconsin's doing. Depends on the, I know Michigan and Indiana got lake effect. They always got a lot of snow. Hey, there's the Sears Tower. See, it's the Tower of Mordor, the lidless eye. It's evil. Tower of Doom. Curling started Wednesday. Oh, they always start curling. Curling's the first thing. So the Olympics have already started. Wow. So I'll look for that. Yeah, curling is like the best stoner sport possible. You're just, you know, it's just like all the suspense. They eye it up and take so long to take their shot, and then it all comes down to the last shot anyway. It doesn't matter. Curling. How is that an Olympic sport? I no disrespect to curlers. I want the United States to win, you know, but oh. Here, let's see the Loch Ness. East Syracuse. Hey, that's good. You got a bunch of snow. I bet you got a bunch of snow up by Lake Ontario there. Finger Lakes. There's Loch Ness. It's my friend from Scotland tuning in. There's Nessie right there. This is our loch. This is Loch Lincoln Park. Yeah, Lake Michigan. Loch Michigan. You're a Packer. That's good. Bunch of cheeseheads, Wisconsin. Sorry we beat you in the playoffs, but hey, we'll meet again next year, I'm sure. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when. But someday we'll meet again. Yeah, they planted these trees blue and orange when the Bears were in the Super Bowl in 2006, and it stayed until now. These poor trees. Yeah, see, look, I see how it's painted orange. They painted these trees blue and orange for the Bears. The Bears. Yeah, Lake Erie. Cheese grater hats. Yeah, we got the cheese grater hats. Chicago has the answer. You got to come up with a new... you got to come up with a new stereotype. You can't have the cheese heads because we defeated it. It's like paper, rock, scissors. What are you going to do to defeat the cheese grater? You know? Parmesan. We'll call you Kraft. Yeah, it's a creepy lake. I'm a creepy kind of guy. Spooky. Yeah, Shrek. Bengals. Yeah, I had the poor unfortunate luck to be born a Cincinnati Bengals fan, but I left it when I came to Chicago. I gave up on them. And I did watch the Super Bowl, 3 years ago with my Cincinnati friends and some Chicago friends too, and or at least from college. And I knew as soon as Joe Burrow showed up in that zoot suit, I knew it was over. I was like, even if you win, people they're gonna laugh at you. It's just, you know, what he thought he thought he was Joe Namath, but he wasn't. You know, it just yeah, the Bengals. I do wish Joe Burrow he deserves a better team. It's just the way it is. But hey, we got a quarterback with Caleb Williams, the comeback king there. Iceman. There's Ulysses S. Grant. Chicago. Dayton. Hey, Reds fan. Yeah, I grew up a Reds fan. Remember the 1990 World Series against the Oakland A's. Let's see. I pretty much missed the big red machine. I was too young or wasn't born yet. I wasn't alive for the 75 Yastrzemski game. But, yeah. Cincinnati Reds. Remember the old Riverfront. My dad went to the old Crosley Field. The old, it was like a Wrigley Field. That's where the eight men out, when the Black Sox series, the Chicago White Sox in 1919 played the Cincinnati Reds. And you can see that in that movie. It was in the West End. It wasn't even by the river, the old Crosley Field, Cincinnati. Here's, we're in Chicago. This is the South Pond, Lincoln Park. I got to give a shout out to Strawberry Ice. If anybody's from Cincinnati, watch Strawberry Ice there. He's a sportscaster on YouTube, and he covers the Bengals and the Reds, and he's got a whole like studio set up. He had the Jackpot Joey t-shirts, and he gets like Icky Woods and like people to come on his show. He like interviews them like a real podcast. He does a great job. Strawberry Ice there in Cincinnati on YouTube. Jeff. So yeah, we're just heading by the frozen South Pond here in Lincoln Park, Chicago. I'm getting tired. First game was the last year at Crosley. Wow, you saw that. Yeah, you remember Riverfront. Yeah, the big donut. So like Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and St. Louis all had like very similar looking donut stadiums. They both were like football / baseball. They didn't work well for either. It was like the Oakland A's stadium or the, you know, Candlestick or something. It's just messed up. But all three of those cities tore them down and built retro ones. Since yeah, the new one's really nice, but the big donuts, Riverfront, it's like the monolith. It looked like it should have been in Star Wars. Here's it was like the Death Star right there on the riverfront. If they would have painted it black, it would have looked like a X-Wing fighter. Here's there's the Genie Gang Pavilion here. So I'm gonna go this way because I'm gonna get off of this. It's hard to walk on this nature boardwalk. Look at that view. Yeah, oh, Bitcoin dropped to 60,000. It's still dropping. That is nuts. Yeah, Bitcoin dropped 13% today. It's still dropping. Okay, so for okay, Bitcoin started like 2011, like pennies, fractions of a cent. By 2017, it got to $1,700 for Bitcoin. It's what like spiked. And then it took like years for it to come back. It dipped like way back to like 1,000. And it spiked after COVID. That was the second big spike in 2021. It went up to 70,000. And then it does these 40% retracements. And so it sold off in 2022 and 2023. Went down to like where it's at now, like 60,000. No, it went down to like 20,000. And then like in 2025, and largely because of the Trump second term being reelected, it spiked significantly, coinciding with the election of Donald Trump for his second term, and went up to 100. Eventually it got to almost 120,000. So now it's half. It dropped 50% retracement from its all-time highs, which were just October of the end of last year, the end of 2025. It's never really recovered in the new year. And what we're most worried about, there's a company called Micro Strategies. You might hear more about this in the news. If it owns 3% of all the Bitcoins ever created, because that's its strategy, is buy Bitcoin and hold them. And then people can invest, like it's a way to, like a derivative, to invest in Bitcoin by buying their stock. At the all-time highs, the company was valued at like $63 billion, and now it's negative $2 billion because they didn't sell. And so they don't know what's going to happen. And there's a lot of people like got crypto in their 401ks and stuff for diversification. And it's affecting the whole asset class. It's affecting, how's Ethereum doing? How's Litecoin and all the other ones? You know, I'll look at that when I'll look at it when I get home. It's the whole crypto asset class, because they all, and companies like Tesla have Bitcoin as part of their cash reserves, and it'll affect that. And Amazon dropped 10% unless it recovered after their earnings. And so that's a lot of market capitalization wiped off in seconds. It's so weird how it works, because the options, usually the options price at 10 above or 10 below. And so it's like the spread. And then it just pops. It's like the algo's just like everybody sells at once. And it's like this free fall. That's what was happening during the pandemic. If the futures would limit down before this market even opened, and everybody just was dumping everything. But we'll see what happens. It's going to get interesting. We're due for a correction. I'm ready for it. It's see what gets shaken out. See what gets shaken out of the tree. Pretty view, yeah, look at that. So here, I'll get you the nice view from, once we get right up there, we'll go to the north end of the South Pond, and there's a nice view. I didn't go up to the bridge, and I took the low road. You take the high road and I'll take the low road, and I'll be to Scotland before we get. Yeah, I don't know what triggered that. Something from my childhood memories. Yeah. Here's, what is that? Listen to the crunch of the snow. Yeah, I'm hoping we get some nice snow overnight. What's the forecast? Are we going to get any accumulation out of this? I don't even know. I just should have checked the forecast. It's the beehive. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You see that? That's that Genie Gang pavilion. That's what that beehive thing is. Hey, we'll get the nice view here. So here, north end of the South Pond, Chicago, Illinois. We got 29 degrees Fahrenheit. Hey, look at that pretty snow. Yeah, there's the John Hancock Bridge over the South Pond, Lincoln Park. 1 to 2 inches. Thanks, Ernie. 1 to 2 inches. That's not bad. That won't even affect traffic. Deep dish pizza. What do you think, Ernie? What's your favorite deep dish place? What's everybody think? One Golden Nubian West. What's the best pizza? Here's Chicago, Lincoln Towers. So I'm gonna get home, get some dinner. We'll see how much snow we get tomorrow. We'll walk into work, Same bat time, same bat channel. Yeah, Bacino's. Yeah, go to Bacino's. That's a good place. I've heard good things about that. I've eaten there. I think Jennifer You Should Eat recommended it too. She knows. She's a native Chicagoan. Yeah, the crunch of the snow. Crunchy. Look at the snow. Look at the snow drift. No, they piled up all the snow from plowing the walks. Here's the big snow mount. We'll go skiing. Look at this. You can build a fort out of this. Yeah, big snow mound. Look how deep the snow is. Chicago. Yeah, it's the Sicilian Mafia. Now, I don't know much about this, but a friend of mine lived over like Erie and Damon. It was over by the Central States Joint Board, which is a union place, but it's over by Damon. And so, just north of the tracks, railroad tracks there. And we would go down the street, further down on Grand Avenue, I think, there was a place called Two Jacks. Does anyone remember Two Jacks? It was a Italian restaurant, great food. But it had like a front room with a bar and a back room with the dining room. And it was like family style. It was great. But that gave us really serious like syndicate vibes. It was in a good way. You know, it was like a friend of yours, a friend of ours place, you know. And it's called Two Jacks, but it's no longer there. Now, you know how you go to Bridgeport or the old Taylor Street, you go to Little Italy, there'll be like the places, they'll say members only. It'll be like the corner, like in just like a corner building, it'll have a door. It looks like a bar, but it's a members only. It's like a little slot in the door in there. Like, what's the password? It's funny. Chicago. We're like a caricature of herself. Jules, yeah. Get the sushi, get the $5 sushi at Jules. That's the deal. I'll get that. Yeah. Kansas City, Missouri. 58 degrees. Wow, yeah, you're much warmer. We're only 29 degrees. It's warmer, but I want that warm weather to come this way. We're supposed to get snow. We're supposed to get snow tomorrow, 1 to 2 inches. See what it looks like. Kansas City's tuning in. That's great. Missouri Jayhawks, yeah, go Jayhawks. Sharon Bean. Sicily. Yeah, that's great. Christy, yeah, Christy Overton. Yeah, Cheeto Kicks. So there's RJ Grunts. There's where Bugs Moran lived. We talked about that. St. Valentine's Day Massacre's coming up. There's the waterfall where the Bears lives. One of the Bears. Hey, look at this winter scene. We got these rocks. We got the tree, the little winding path. Heading next to the Lincoln Park Zoo, Chicago, Illinois, 29 degrees. 6:24 in the PM. If you like that information, hit the thumbs up, double tap the screen. Hit subscribe, like. Follow me on TikTok, Substack. I got to put some stuff on Substack. I think I'm going to try to do some, like, podcasting on Substack and figure out how to use the live streaming feature to do it. And, because then I could do it, like, on a Wi-Fi. I would like to just take it out in the streets, but the resolution's horrible on Substack for live streaming, at least in my experience. I'll have to run it through Streamlabs. I'm just too lazy to do the key, and you got to copy and paste it and set it up, the resolution aspect and all that. It's not too hard. It's just I'm too lazy to do even that. Yeah, Chicago PT Fire Med. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we walked back on Blue Island Avenue there going towards Pilsen on the lower west side, there's the fire station 51 that they use for Chicago Fire. We walked by there. They were filming one time. And they were yelling at me as I was in the shot. I was filming. They had a prop. They had the fake memorial to the guy that died in the show. It wasn't in real life. It was just on the show. And I was filming it. And they were like, get out of the shot. Some live streamer goes, watch Chicago Fire. You'll see me in the background. I'll be walking around filming them do the scene. We do that on Lake Street, though. They'll film the Chicago Fire right there by the Prudential building, because it's off of Michigan Avenue. Looks like hardly anybody goes down that street anyway. It's the road to nowhere. But here's Chicago. Yeah, Ernie, Jayhawks, Scott James. Scott James, your firefighter. That's good. Yeah, so you know the real life. It's actually harder in real life, right? You guys go through a lot. Thanks for being a firefighter. Yeah, it's gotta suck to be like backdraft. You know, it makes it look like, you know, your skin's getting melted off. You know, it's just, I guess it is. You deal with some dangerous stuff. Hazmat. Here's Lincoln Park Zoo. Here, let me cross the street here. Yeah, look at this big snow mound. Yeah, we'll cross Stockton right here. Lincoln Park. Hey, there's the Webster House. That's a nice building there, this whole block on Lincoln Park West. And then we go up to the Bell and Stratford here. Yeah, the pretty snow. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Keep me company on my walk home from work. We'll walk in tomorrow, probably. I might sleep in a little bit, but we'll get into work on time and see if we'll go play in the snow tomorrow. It'll be a snow day. See the snowy bean. See if people are ice skating. There wasn't anybody ice skating on the Millennium Park ice skating rink today. I didn't know. It had, the last two times I went there, they didn't have anybody. They didn't let people out there. Hey, Bobby. Bobby Joe, how you doing? Yeah, no yelling. Only I can yell. Yeah, I got a lot of reruns. Ernie's got reruns too. It's the archives. It's like your life in the fourth dimension. I'm like, where was I at on this day? Oh yeah, let me go watch the video. That's what was going on. Memories. All the memories. Hey, look at the Bell and Stratford. It looks nice here. Lincoln Park, Chicago, Illinois. 29 degrees Fahrenheit. -1 Celsius. 6:29 p.m. Hey, there's some dirty snow. Looks like some snowmen were toppled. Hey, look at this winding path along a winding road. Start a new job. Hey, you started a new job. That's good. Yeah, thanks for checking out the YouTube. Cheeto Kicks. Sharon Bean. Nostradamus. Hey, the Bell and Stratford. Nice way to end the day. We'll go past Billy Shakespeare. We'll ease on into the weekend. Tomorrow's Friday. It's all downhill. Super Bowl weekend. Get ready for Bad Bunny. There was a funny video. There was this, I guess it was you know, I'm trying to keep it light. I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I'm just, it was a woman and she was like, no, I'm not watching Bad Bunny. I'm watching the Kid Rock alternative halftime show instead. And she goes, well, I don't even know what Bad Bunny looks like. And then she looked him up and she goes, oh, well, maybe I could just see what's going on, you know. She was like, oh, you can look at Kid Rock. And he said, oh, I look like I'm an old ugly guy like Kid Rock, you know. It's the old greasy hair, stringy hair, what a wannabe pimp. What is it? And then she was like, at least Kid Rock sings in English. And then she was like, Bo did the bid, the bong and dang. She's like, what? Here's the Billy Shakespeare. You gotta watch the video. I don't know if I reposted it or not. We're just talking about Tic Tacs. Talking about Tic Tacs. That's my mind. Here's Elm Stratford. Yeah. Check out the pretty lights. Hey, it's still Christmas in Chicago. Hey, it's a wonderful life. Connersville, welcome to Chicago. Yeah. George Bailey, Elm Stratford, yeah. Wanna be, got be. Yeah, thanks. One Golden Nubian, Grandma's Corner. 3K Punk. Beautiful building. Grim Evil. You saw that? Oh, did you see that? Yeah, you see that. I'm glad you saw that. She was like, "Bong the dang the bang the dang ding." See, he's singing English. Oh my God. The world is so weird. We're living in some strange alternative dystopic future. This is not how I imagined 2026 would look like. You know, the movie Blade Runner, it was supposed to be 2019. We're already past what, you know, that's what they thought 2019. Yeah, we don't have flying cars. We don't get these, you know, robots. We got the little coolers on wheels is what we got. But hey, have a good night. Thanks everybody. Thanks to the mods. Thanks to give likes and follows. If I missed your comment, we'll try to get it tomorrow. And we'll see what the snow looks like. So sleep tight. Enjoy your Thursday evening here. And we'll see you later. Okay, appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Check out the reruns there on YouTube, TikTok. And we'll see you tomorrow. Check out the snow. Have a good night. Yeah, thanks. See you, everybody. Okay.